Hey, what up, gang? So, real quick, we're gonna be watching this video. The UK is dying, and I need to vent by Educatingkate. I seen this video drop on my feed earlier today, and I thought it was interesting. I only watched about 2 minutes of it. She did go viral for this, and I seen other channels picking up on it and trying to cover the news. But I'm seeing news come out of the UK, and it's very interesting. I'm not sure what's going on over there, to be quite honest with you. But this video had a little bit to say something about it, and I think she covers it pretty well, even in the first 2 minutes that I saw. Now the rest of this video after that, I don't know where it goes. So we're here together. Let's watch.
Hello, my name is Kate, and I'm 29 years old. I am Scottish, 3/4 Scottish, 1/4 Irish, but I spent my whole life in Scotland and consider myself Scottish. However, since June of this year, 2024, I haven't lived in Scotland or any part of the UK. Firstly, I lived in Greenland for 4 months, which is very random, but I had a really cool job opportunity there. And then that was basically a fun folly, with afterwards the plan being to move to Hong Kong to teach English, which is where I've been for the past 2 months. And this is now my home. You know, I'm not saying forever, but definitely for at least a year. And I want to talk to you a little bit about why I feel that way. So, small amount of context. This channel that I'm posting this on, it's got like 100 subscribers, so it's completely irrelevant. However, what I want it to be is a channel where I interview people. I interview people because I really enjoy that. I love talking to new people, I love learning new experiences. But why I'm kind of breaking the mold today and just talking to the camera is because the last person I interviewed was a guy called Daryl Solis. And Daryl, apologies, I've not talked to my GoPro before. And Daryl did a viral video about leaving the UK and why he chose to do that. And as I was having that conversation with him and reflecting on it afterwards, I realised there was so much more that I wanted to say as someone myself in a position who's chose to leave the UK. So let me tell you why I chose to leave the UK, why I feel better already for it, and why I would, with a heavy heart, and I mean that seriously, I do love my country a lot, but with a heavy heart, I would genuinely recommend that if you're watching this as a young person in the UK, you consider moving. So the first reason is that you're genuinely paid shit. Like, even if you think you're on a good wage, half of that goes in taxes. That's if you're on a really good wage, right? And if you're not on a good wage, the reason you don't pay half in taxes is because the government knows that you need that money literally to survive. So the money you're making isn't to have fun with, it's literally to get you through the month so that you can work for the next month.
I think a lot of people are feeling that all over the world.
We live in a country where if you try to better yourself by going to university, the interest you pay on your education means that it's basically guaranteed that for the rest of your working life, you're 10%, 9%, so 10% of that is going to be taken away from your salary. And if you're someone who isn't making that much to begin with, or did a degree that's completely vital for the economy, you might resent that for the rest of your life, 9% of your education but is taken away because of your education. Your choice to better yourself costs you so much money.
Yeah.
And if you're like me, then you will have graduated but never had a graduate job. So you'll be paying 9% just for the experience.
It is wild to me how many people went to school and got a degree and are struggling to find a job in their role or in their field, excuse me. It is absolutely insanity that the market is that saturated for everything. It seems like it just doesn't make sense. Anyway, let's hear what she has to say.
Which, quite frankly, is bollocks, because, you know, for me personally, half of my experience of university was during COVID, so the experience wasn't there. But also just in terms of how I feel as someone with, you know, an okay amount of intelligence, I don't attribute much of what I've learned in life to my university experience at all. It's just not worth it. It's very frustrating to owe a government so much money when you just don't feel that you've got much back in return. You know, and it's the same with taxes. Look, I grew up left-leaning. I'm still left-leaning in principle, in theory, but it's if you can't see where your taxes are going, it's so stressful. It's so stressful that such a high percentage of your income can be taken away from you when you know what you could do with that to better your life, and in the process of bettering your life, better the lives of the people around you and society. You know, if you could get a house, and if you could, you know, invest in some skill sets, blah blah blah, with that money, that would be good for the economy. That would be good for your community. But instead you throw it down a money hole. That's really what it feels like. I had poor mental health a few years ago, and I was told it was a priority that I get therapy. And I was put on a waiting list for therapy, and 15 months later I got a call to start therapy, and by then I had to decline it because my address had changed.
Wow.
So the area that I was entitled to it for, I was no longer in, and I was considered critical. I was the priority, and it took 15 months.
Wow. Holy shit.
Now, I got to sort myself out in that case. So, but so many people don't. Some people literally die, and I'm gutted for them. I have a younger sister who is quite severely disabled, and so she's just, it's a very clear-cut situation where she's someone who completely needs support, and will never, you know, will never get a house based on, you know, of the money she's saved or anything. She's entitled to supported living accommodation, and she got on the waiting list this year. And in Dumfries and Galloway, it could be 5 to 10 years before she gets supported living accommodation. So in 10 years' time, theoretically,
that's a decade.
Could be when she moves out of mum's. By then, she will be in her late 30s. This is someone with dreams to be independent. You know, and by then my mum will be in her late 60s and will have looked after my sister for you know, 38 years. Obviously, you should be such a primary part of caring for your loved ones when they're sick or disabled. That's how it's always worked, but the idea that there's basically no chance of support, and the idea that, you know, unless you're mega rich, you just have to accept that situation. It's such a disservice to my sister. It's a disservice to my mother, who has paid taxes her entire life, who's always contributed so much to this economy. Now that it's time for her to get something back, she's not going to, or, you know, at least not for basically ever. And also when I think about the fact that my sister's very well cared for by my mum is someone who enjoys caring for my sister and, you know, can basically do it, when I consider that that's the best case scenario, but out there in Scotland there are so many far more compromising situations where they will also be told it'll take 10 years. And, you know, lives are falling apart in those situations. People are being abused. Finances are being ruined. It's very upsetting. It's very upsetting to me. If I could just circle back to mental health in the UK, I think every aspect of how mental health is treated in the UK is so damaging for the mentally unwell. Because first of all, if you're a young person, you're quite obsessed with mental health. We're always analysing our feelings. We're always diagnosing ourselves based on stuff that we see online. We're constantly talking about mental health. But we're stuck at that stage where we're over-analysing ourselves, but no real help is given. And that's the worst of both. You know, what you want is that you get the opportunity to be self-aware, and you get the opportunity to explore who you are, vulnerabilities and all, but that you don't stay in that stage where you're kind of thinking, oh, who am I? What am I?
So she's spitting a lot of truth here. And, you know, I think I'm going to leave this video here. I don't know where she's going with this message. I think it's a very heartfelt message. I think she was just emotional when she uploaded this, and I think that's perfectly normal. I want to say this, though, you know, Kate, I hope that your podcast happens, that you're able to go and interview people, and that you're able to take care of your sister and your mother from it. I am not going to watch the rest of this video because I want to encourage whoever watched this video here to like, subscribe, and then also go and follow Kate, watch her video. Here's the thing, you know, and I'll take a moment here too. We're all feeling the hard times. The whole reason I started this YouTube channel is because I feel like I need to find a way to earn more money to continue just keeping my boat afloat. And I am the main source of income. I also have 2 kids, you know. My youngest is 1, and I don't want to reveal too much of myself, but I will say that is my main priority, is taking care of my family, and I know that that's the main priority of many other people. So thank you so much for watching. I'm just going to end it here. See ya.